Jono, thanks for joining us. We're back here at Lord's, just returned from Northamptonshire, where tasted defeat for the second time on the bounce. Let's kick off with that one. How do you assess that performance?
Another difficult game, as you know. It started a little bit like the Essex game, on the back foot with the bat. Didn't get a good enough start, obviously. The ball zipped around a little bit at the start. Recovered pretty well in the game, but there's small margins at the moment. Small margins, especially up top, where we've had a couple of good attacks, test us out on the front foot, top of the pad. We've not had the answers yet to push back, but our middle order and lower order have chipped in nicely. Low scoring games, small margins. We've got to get better at coping with that up the top of the order.
I mean, I'm always guilty perhaps of looking for the positives in this, but I think it's important to balance these interviews. You've got 40,000 runs almost in first-class cricket in that top three there, and outside of that top three you've got Esky as well. There's no shortage of runs under the career belts of these guys. Obviously no need to panic at this stage. They're probably coming to the season a little bit green, aren't they? Not necessarily enough time in the middle in pre-season. Is that a factor?
Maybe factors, but there's no excuses. We're a talented, highly experienced top three, as you've just said, and they know they haven't got away yet. We've come up against a couple of really good attacks, and the good attacks will keep coming all season. This is First Division cricket. It's not meant to be easy. We've talked about that before. We have to find a way, and that's what we prided ourselves on last year. We talked pre-season about doing the good things for longer, and we haven't done that yet, and we need to do that. We've spoken about it. The spirit around the side is still very good, still very up. We know it's 8 days cricket in a long season, and we know that we can bounce back. We're backing the guys 100%, and they need to be back because they're very good players, like you've just said. So they will come good, and we will turn it around by hard work.
I mean, that's the great mystery of batting, isn't it? You can be in a bit of a rough patch. You're one knock away from finding some good form.
Absolutely. If you talk to Esky, especially, he feels in a good place. Rocky feels in a good place, moving well. Sometimes when you start on the back foot a little bit and not where you want to be, things go against you a little bit, and that's a feeling that we don't want to get through the side. You can turn that little bit of a feeling or little bit of form round by what they're doing now, which is working hard, doing the basics well, get backing from us, support from us, and we'll come good quickly.
I mentioned the tough pre-season, Jono, where most of the cricket was washed out. Obviously our opening second 11 game has been washed out as well. I suppose as a first team coach you'd probably be looking around the group for others to be standing up, and not that you're thinking about this yet, but as time develops you'll be looking for others to kind of start hammering the door down, making a case for themselves. Nobody's really had a chance to play any cricket.
No, it's been hard for those guys actually. No cricket at all, hardly even an outdoor net. You always need in good sides, like we said last year, you need people knocking on the door, you need people putting pressure on the guys in the first team. We talk a lot about scoring runs to stay in the first team and scoring runs to get into the first team, and that obviously isn't happening at the moment, but hopefully the boys will get out there next week and get some runs under their belt.
A little word on the players that are in very good form early part of the season. Ryan Higgins, you must have been really pleased with how he's shown a bit of early form with the bat.
Absolutely, and the ball is he's been brilliant for us in both. He's a real leader, leads from the front, and he's been great so far.
And I guess talking about leading from the front, that segues nicely onto Toby Rowland Jones, who's leading the way again with the ball, third highest wicket taker already in the Championship, proving that he's got what it takes even in the First Division.
Yeah, he's been quality from day one. We knew that he could do that. He's obviously did it last year for us. He's done it in the First Division before. With the added responsibility as captain, has given him a real fillip to really lead that attack, which he's taken on brilliantly.
Jono, obviously 2 games does not define a season. We now have an opportunity to look ahead to Nottinghamshire, who join us here at Lord's, where again another tough attack will be opening up against us. The likes of Dane Patterson, Stewie Broad. Gets no easier.
It gets no easier. We said that again earlier in the interview and previous interviews. First Division's tough cricket. We're good enough batting lineup. We're a good enough bowling lineup to compete with them and play well against them all through. So it's we've got to get going. We haven't got going yet. we haven't got everything, all facets of our game and our identity and everything working well enough at the moment, and that's my responsibility, and I take that's for me to work out and sort out with the boys, and we'll be working hard to do that this week.
One of the great joys, Jono, with this Middlesex squad is you've got a lot of variety there. You named the same 14 that you named for our last encounter up at Wantage Road. That does, of course, give you options to bring back Tim Murtagh, bring in Robbie White on the batting front, bring in Martin Anderson with ball and bat. How are you looking ahead of that, or is it a case of waiting and see and having a look at what the wicket's looking like?
Yeah, we'll have a look tomorrow. We've got it in our minds what we're going to do at the moment, but we'll just have another check in the morning, and then we'll take it from there.
Jono, look, thanks ever so much for your time. Boys working hard behind us. All the very best of luck this week. We'll catch up next week.
Thank you.